Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarika, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We are on our journey to 500 subscribers, so click that subscribe button down below and join our community. If you are returning, thank you for coming back and watching another video. From the title, you can see that we're doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be talking about my experience this week eating HelloFresh as a vegetarian. So the way I thought that I would organize this video is pretty much talk about first how to use HelloFresh and what it is. Then second, give my overall review of my experience this week. I'm going to include footage of the meals that I made, and then I'm going to kind of talk about the meals themselves, separate from my actual experience. So first of all, if you don't know, HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that operates in various countries around the world, including Canada. They're very convenient and easy to use. That's one of the things I like about them. This video is not sponsored, so you can trust my review. It's very honest and candid. But the way that you use HelloFresh is you can subscribe either through their app or on their website. I use their app because it's just easier to use. You essentially go on there, you enter your personal information, and then they're going to ask you specific things about how you want your meal service to kind of be customized. So for me, I have it set to 3 meals per week, and then I want each meal to have 2 servings. I also specify that I'm a vegetarian, so the options that they give me will start with the vegetarian option, so they'll always highlight those at the top. And then I chose the day that I want my food to be delivered. So currently I have it set to Wednesday, which is a very awkward time in the week. Not sure how it ended up there, but you can select whichever day works for you. I also have it set to be delivered to my concierge because sometimes I'm not actually home because it is a Wednesday and they usually deliver in the mornings. So they leave it with my concierge, and when I come home, I pick it up. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. So now I thought I would kind of transition into my overall review of my experience. So I find ordering HelloFresh really easy and simple. It's not complicated. I don't feel confused or overwhelmed when I'm on the app. I also like that I have the option to skip weeks, which is really helpful for someone like me because I don't want a HelloFresh box every single week. And I think that that's where some people might get concerned, like, do I have to stay committed to this thing every single week? You do not, which is really helpful. So if there's a week where you're traveling, or you know that you want to make meals for yourself, or you can't afford it that week, or you don't like the recipes, you don't have to actually buy the box that week or order meals that week, and they don't charge you, so that's really nice. In terms of specific pros and cons of HelloFresh, let's get into it. Okay, so the first pro or benefit of HelloFresh is the convenience of it. For someone like me, I'm the type that goes to the supermarket, buys a bunch of ingredients, but they don't actually make anything. So then I'm just at home with a bunch of ingredients that don't actually come together. They're not cohesive. So what's convenient about HelloFresh is that they create and craft meals for you. You don't have to think about, the meals. And then they curate those meals, they package them for you, they give you the recipes, they give you all the ingredients. It's all in one box, and then they deliver it right to your door. Right, so that's pretty convenient, and I think that's kind of the main appeal of HelloFresh. I think a lot of young people kind of struggle with coming up with different types of meals, or we have busy lives, so when we come home we're exhausted from work, or even if we work from home, we're exhausted from the day and we don't have time or energy to cook or think of anything to cook, but it's all there. Like, you don't have to go grocery shopping. Everything is packaged for you really neatly. And I'll have a clip of the package and what it looks like and what comes in it. So it's usually a box. It has ice in there to kind of preserve or keep any ingredients that need to be cool. Then it has, these brown paper bags that have your meals in it, and then they have the recipes. So it's very convenient. It's compact. It's not going to take up too much space. And I think it just makes your life easier. So someone like me really needs HelloFresh, because if not, I wouldn't really eat creatively, I would probably just have mac and cheese. If anyone knows me, I am very basic when it comes to making food for myself. I'm lazy and I don't want to spend time in the kitchen. I'm not a fan of cooking, so HelloFresh kind of solves that for me. The next pro is it's tasty. I think that's another important thing that we want to consider if we're gonna actually spend money on a meal prepping service or a meal kit service, is that the food actually tastes good, right? So it does taste good. I want to say that 90% of the time the food tastes good. This week wasn't the first week that I've actually had HelloFresh. I've had them or used them quite a bit in the past, but the 3 meals that I got this week were delicious, and they taste really good. They're well seasoned. So for someone like me, I like when my food has seasoning. You know what I mean? I don't like bland food. Who does? But, well, some people do, but I don't like bland food, and I was kind of worried about that. Would the food be bland? It is not. Could it be spicier though? Yes, I'm someone who loves spice, and they will warn you if your recipe comes with spice, and they make it optional usually. But for me, it's never spicy enough. So that's one thing in terms of taste, is that I want more spice, but hey, can't get everything, but it's really good. And it's consistently good. So it's not like hit or miss, like you're gonna get 3 meals and only 1 tastes good. Like likely all 3 will taste good. So that's the next pro. Definitely the food tastes good. The next pro is serving size. I think that HelloFresh gives you the perfect serving size. I'm someone, you know, I'm someone that could eat, I could eat. So I was a little nervous, like, you know, whether this food would actually fill me up or would I be hungry afterwards. But as you can see, I wanna insert some clips. As you can see, it's enough for 2 servings, right? As I said earlier, you can adjust the servings that you want on the app or on the website, and I always choose 2 servings per meal. And I always have like my dinner, and then I have leftovers for the next day, which is super helpful because I don't want to be in the kitchen every single day cooking, right? I want to save time. So it fills me up, even though sometimes when I share out the food in the plate, I'm like, this is really small. I'm never actually hungry after. I think they do a really good job of kind of adjusting to what they think a proper serving would be. The next pro would definitely be inclusion. I think that HelloFresh does a really good job of including different diets and lifestyles in their meal options. So as a vegetarian, sometimes I find it difficult to find meals that, you know, taste good, that aren't just salad. So I think that, you know, by being able to choose vegetarian meals, I get a good variety of options in terms of vegetarian things or vegetarian meals. I don't have to eat salad every single day. They do a really good job of mixing it up. And I know a lot of people who have very specific diets may oftentimes feel left out when they go out to eat, but HelloFresh has options, which is really awesome. So you can do like vegetarian, you can do no pork, you can do no seafood, you can do quick and easy, things like that that are specific to your diet or lifestyle, which is awesome. So I know that that's something that people who have very specific diets would be concerned about, but as someone who's a vegetarian, I never feel like, oh, salad again, or like, oh, this again. I will say though that they do have quite a lot of pasta options, but I love me some pasta. Like I can eat pasta day, night, every day. I love pasta. So for me, it's not a problem. If you're somebody who's not a big fan of pasta and you're a vegetarian, just keep that in mind. Next pro would definitely be that it's very beginner friendly. As I said before, I am not a big fan of cooking. I don't really like being in the kitchen, and so, you know, I was worried that they would be having me do some complex stuff, but they don't. You don't require very specific kitchen or cooking materials or utensils. You know, everything that you need will typically be in your kitchen already, and the recipes are so like simple and easy to follow that, you know, you don't really feel confused about what you need to be doing, which helps, because who wants to be confused when they're trying to figure something out for the first time. So I will say that, you know, it's easy to follow all of the instructions. So those are kind of my main pros in terms of like my experience itself. In terms of cons, I want to start off with cost. I don't know if I would actually put this in the cons or the pros section because I feel like it depends on who you are. So for me, I order 3 meals and it costs me $78 Canadian. So if I did that every week, it would be 312 Canadian dollars, which for me, if I was only ordering the meal, like if I was only ordering HelloFresh, it would be less than what I spend on groceries, like my partner and I, for the month. But if it was just me by myself buying my own groceries, it actually would come up to more than I would spend by myself for groceries. So I think the cost kind of depends on who you are. Some people might find that cost to be fairly like comparative to what they spend on groceries, depending on, you know, your family or your living situation. Some might find that to be way above what they spend on groceries. So that's why I feel like having the option to skip weeks is really helpful, which is something I do. I only get HelloFresh if I love every single like recipe that they're going to send me that week, right? So if there's one where I'm like, because I'm not a fan of mushrooms, if I see anything with mushrooms, I'm not ordering that week. So I don't ever feel like my money goes to waste, and I also don't get it every week. So for me, I think it's a sustainable option, but that's why I don't know if I should put cost in the cons or the pro section. I guess you can decide after watching the video. The next general con would be waste. So sometimes I feel like HelloFresh kind of overestimates how much you'll need when you're making a meal. So just for example, one of the meals that I ordered this week required sweet potatoes. They sent me 2 sweet potatoes instead of 1. And by the time I want to maybe include a clip here. By the time I cut everything up, it ended up being way too much and I threw some out. They also sometimes tend to send too much produce and then you cut it all up, you don't use all of it. So you end up throwing food out, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but just keep that in mind that there will likely be waste. You will likely be throwing things out. Next con would definitely be the dishes. So many dishes everywhere. Like, I feel like that's something that gets me really frustrated about HelloFresh, is that I will make a meal and then I have a lot of dishes after, and I don't like having dishes in my kitchen. It gives me anxiety. So as I'm cooking and I see all the pots and the pans that I'm using, I kind of get nervous about, you know, what I'll have to do to kind of clean the kitchen after. I'll show a clip here of kind of like how many dishes can be accumulated over the span of making one HelloFresh meal. You know, like if I was making, say, macaroni and cheese, that would be like 1 pot, a plate, spoon, right? So in comparison, like you do a lot of dishes when you are doing HelloFresh, but then the meal tastes better and it's probably healthier. So up to you what the trade-off would be. My next con would be the time. So most of the HelloFresh recipes that I get will say that it will take 30 minutes to make, which again, I think they underestimate how much time it actually takes to cook some of the things. I feel like on average, you know, the dishes, especially non-pasta dishes, take longer than 30 minutes to make because, you know, sometimes the meal requires different things to be cooked, and then when you do all of that and you combine all the parts together at the end, it's been an hour. So my experience this week has been longer than 30 minutes per meal. I was recording, so that did take longer to make the different parts of the dish, but I would say on average, each meal took at least 40 minutes, and then my longest meal was the lentil meal, which took at least an hour to make. So just beware that, you know, even though the recipe may call for 30 minutes, you may actually spend longer in the kitchen making the meal and then cleaning up after. So just keep that in mind. My next con would be the cultural dishes that they have. I think that, you know, of course, if you're expecting an authentic cultural dish, so for example, if, you know, they say they're gonna give you a Jamaican jerk burger, chicken, whatever, like probably set your expectations very low. It's probably not going to be very authentic, and that's a con for me. You know, obviously I'm not living in Jamaica, so I don't really expect HelloFresh to get it 100% right, but I mean, it is a little disappointing. So just keep that in mind, that the cultural dishes won't be very authentic or accurate. Okay, so those are my overall thoughts about my HelloFresh experience, both this week and in the previous weeks that I've used them. Now I want to talk about the 3 specific meals that I cooked this week. I had to pull it up on my phone because I kind of forgot the names. So I ordered the pesto cheese tortellini, the cheesy creamy cauliflower pasta, and the red lentil and sweet potato curry. Hi everyone, sorry for just cutting off the video like this, but we're transitioning to the footage from where I cooked all the 3 meals that I got in my HelloFresh box this week. The first meal is the cheesy creamy cauliflower pasta. The preparation time is 30 minutes. It has 860 calories per serving. In terms of the difficulty level, it's rated easy. So the ingredients for this meal would be rigatoni, cauliflower, baby spinach, yellow onion, cheddar cheese, cream, garlic salt, chili flakes, and cream sauce spice blend. Other ingredients that I would have to, you know, provide from my own kitchen include milk, unsalted butter, oil, pepper, and salt. I included this footage so that you could see kind of how easy it is to make the meals with HelloFresh, how straightforward it is, but also to see like the cleanup process and kind of the dishes left in the sink after. You'll also see the sizes of each serving and leftovers. Enjoy! Before we start, I did want to issue a disclaimer. 1, ignore my nails. I have not been to the nail salon in a while, so just ignore that. And 2, in parts of the footage, you'll see that my stove has like oil or water on it. That's from cooking throughout the HelloFresh like experience. So while I'm cooking a meal, sometimes oil will get on the stove from my pot, and same with the water if I'm like boiling pasta or something. So just ignore that. Let's go. Back again. Yeah, I was just looking at the cauliflower pasta and I swear it looked better in my head than it does on camera, I swear, but tasted really good. The next meal is a pesto cheese tortellini with baby tomatoes and pine nuts. They say the preparation time is 30 minutes. As I said before, took longer than that. The calories, it's 1,210 calories. The difficulty, they say it's medium, but I thought it was pretty easy to make. The ingredients for this one that came in the bag were fresh cheese tortellini, lemon, baby tomatoes, pine nuts, garlic, baby spinach, pesto, shallots, and Parmesan cheese. From my own kitchen, I had to use oil, unsalted butter, salt, and pepper. I think that this dish ends up looking better in the end. I hope it's not like a catfish or a reverse catfish, but I love this dish. Tasted really good. Again, you can kind of see the serving size and the leftovers and kind of how easy it is to make the dish. Enjoy.
if you gave more of your time. Yeah, we both might just get what we want. Too scared to love me. Tell me what I did this time. Cause did I work so for you? I wish I could read your mind. I don't know if you want me to come over. I don't know if you want me to come over. Don't wanna ask, really I should know better. I don't know if you want me to come over. I don't know if you want me to come over. Don't wanna ask, really I should know better. I don't know if you want me to come over.
Hi everyone, back again for my last meal. This is the red lentil and sweet potato curry. The preparation time they say is 35 minutes, but it did take me closer to an hour to do. The calories are 870 calories. They rate the difficulty to be medium, and I think they did that because it requires more moving parts, as you'll see in the footage. The ingredients for this dish are red lentils, basmati rice, sweet potato, Roma tomato, ginger, cilantro, baby spinach, Indian spice blend, vegetable broth concentrate, coconut milk, crispy shallots, mild curry paste. What I used from my own kitchen included oil, salt, and pepper. Again, you'll see that parts of the footage, my stove is a little like wet or oily. It's because as I'm cooking, like water is coming from the pot when I'm boiling something, or oil unfortunately sprayed onto my stove. So just ignore that, okay? Say that all of them taste really good. My favorite one was the cauliflower pasta, just because I thought the ratio of pasta to sauce to cauliflower was amazing. I had the least amount of dishes with that one, and it was really easy to cook. It was the quickest one. I think it took about 35 minutes to make. The longest meal was definitely the lentil curry. It took about an hour, as I said earlier, but it tasted really good. It was fairly well seasoned, but again, I feel like it took really long to make, and there were a lot of dishes afterwards to clean. But again, the overall like experience in terms of the food, as you could see, like they all looked good, they all tasted really good. Based on the footage that you saw, which meal was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Overall, I would say that HelloFresh is worth it. I wouldn't recommend doing it every single week unless you're super busy and have no time to ever cook. But I would say that it is definitely something that you should invest in. You won't regret it. I think that regardless of the cons, I think the pros outweigh them. And I think that the experience is really smooth. It's mostly enjoyable for me, and the food tastes really good, right? And so if you're busy, or you want, a change up in your diet, you want to not really think about the meals that you have to cook every single day, HelloFresh is definitely for you. As I said, this is not a sponsored video. These are my honest thoughts and honest opinions. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any more questions about HelloFresh. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.